everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to those who are new to the channel. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing on your way out. I have a new pattern release for you today. As you can tell by the title, it is the Itch to Stitch Orio jacket, and I was a pattern tester for this. And it is really good. This is a good one. You all know there's no secret. I absolutely love Itch to Stitch patterns. I love that it comes in different cup sizing, so you can choose the appropriate size. If you're fuller bust like I am, we're going to get into all of the measurements, all of that. And as a matter of fact, I am wearing the Algarve top. I was a tester for this. I think this was maybe a year or two ago. What I will do at the end of this video, there will be a playlist for Itch to Stitch patterns that I have sewn. I was a tester on quite a few others I've just made, and so you can go and check those videos out. Again, that playlist will pop up at the end of this video. So today is the release, and as with all releases, there is a sale. So I will leave the link to this jacket down in the description box. Yes, it is an affiliate link. You don't have to use it, but I'm just letting you know it is an affiliate link that I have with Itch to Stitch patterns. But let's get into the description and some of the features about this pattern that well, there's a lot about this pattern that I actually really love, and is fitting. If you saw my video from maybe at the time of recording, this is about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't know. You'll see. This pattern is dropping on Wednesday, September 24th. And so it might have been a week or two ago where I talked about elevating my casual wardrobe, handmade wardrobe, and also some other pieces and things that I wanted in my closet that's more versatile, that, you know, it's a little bit more elevated. Now, I've made many jackets and coats. You've seen the different jackets and coats I've made on my channel. But what was one of the things I always said about many of those modal jackets I've made, larger coats, I've only worn them once or twice in the quote-unquote Texas winter, because we've never had much of one. It's like 5 days of cold, and to be honest, if it's longer than that, I'm probably not going anywhere except to church, and those are the times I will wear those pieces. And so I have been longing for something that was more mid-weight, lightweight, that truly I can wear throughout the quote-unquote Texas winter cooler months, right? So enter the this jacket I'll read you the description. It is stylish, versatile layer that blends comfort of a shirt with the practicality of a zip hoodie and functionality of a lightweight jacket. So what? It's more like a shacket. I know we've seen every year, we probably see a lot of people do different types of sew up their favorite shackets in different fabrics. One of the things that I've noticed, at least for me personally, that I've always liked the idea of a shacket, but the one thing that for me never worked with them was how long they were. Granted, yes, I could shorten it, but I never purchased any of those patterns. And so when this came up for test, especially when I was evaluating what I wore in August, make sure you go back and check that whole video about, I did a diary of the things that I was gravitating towards in my closet, which produced the elevating my casual handmade wardrobe video that you would have seen, which also leads into things like this, pieces like this, that for me, where I am in the United States, that I know will work for me all year round, that I will wear, pull, grab towards when I'm going out, you know, if it's a little cooler. I didn't have anything like this in between, and I either had a duster. You all know I wear my dusters out. But something a little bit more than that I can wear or throw on over me when it's a little cooler here. And so this is designed for woven fabrics with no stretch. I'll talk about the fabric that I have here. And so this is It's definitely a good wardrobe staple. Some of the features that I absolutely love that I always talk about, there are cup sizing for better fit. We're going to talk about the fit. I made several adjustments on this pattern, and as a matter of fact, on my videos, I think I started it with the previous video you would have seen, I think was the Ruche t-shirt video by Pattern Emporium, first time making them. But I have started in the description box. I'm doing this for those who watch as well as for me personally. I do write down my measurements and everything that I do on the pattern. Then you all know I have my monthly makes calendar. But sometimes when I'm, you know, quick, I don't feel like going digging for things. I can easily go to my video for me personally also and check my description box. So what I'm going to start doing, and I started it with the previous video and this, in any video that I do where I'm making something that I'm wearing, I will now start keeping my measurements in the description box. So people know what my current measurements are and what size I made for that particular piece. So what you will see in the description box today is my current measurements and then the size that I cut for the pattern. So make sure you check that out if you happen to miss it. But obviously this will go into a lot of detail. So we have princess seams, which is nice because it goes from the shoulder down. That was really good for me. Again, we'll talk about it. It has a two-piece sleeve with simplified plackets and cuffs. And I must say, when it says simplified cuff, placket with the cuff, super easy, super easy. It has the center front zipper closure, which is hidden. It is hidden. You will not see it. And so, again, we'll talk about that. It does have the hood with the drawstring. You do have the option to do the well pockets. I wanted to do the well pockets so bad. Because one, I don't have anything, a jacket or anything of this type with welt pockets. So I actually wanted to do them. However, I didn't have enough fabric for that. But I do have enough, and I'll share with you in just a moment the fabric, give you a close-up, as well as how much I have left and what my intention is to do with it. And then you have the shirt tail hem. So you have a nice curved hem for a classic finish. And the beauty is this is unlined. You do not have to line this. You can line it. I highly suggest you check out some of the testers, other testers, if you're on the Itch to Stitch newsletter, or when I leave the link down below, you'll be able to see the different tester versions. Some did add some lining to some pieces, so make sure if you want to see what that looks like, check that out. It's probably in their blogs or their written blogs online how they did it. And it, like I said, is designed for medium weight woven fabric. And I believe the height for this pattern is 5'5". No, it's 5'6". I am 5'7". So, in the choosing your size for the cup size, all of that is within the pattern. Very easy. You'll be able to see how to figure out which measurement you fall into. So for me, let me just tell you, the pattern goes up to a size 40. Very, 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 now this is, you all know how I feel about size inclusive and kind of my gauge, my what I gauge to be true size inclusive patterns. And I'm always going back to when I was 309 pounds, when I was much larger. Would this have worked for me? And it would have, even at that larger size. And so for me, my measurements currently, and again, I'll put this in the description box, my sizing is 49 for my full bust. My waist is at a 43, and my fullest part of my hip, which you all know always includes the fullest part of my belly, is a 55. So what I cut, I started out with a 20 at the top. I graded out to a 24 at the waist, and then 30 at the hip, down. And so that is what I did. So those are the measurements I cut at. And for size sake, the sizing for the for this jacket goes up to a double D cup. and the bust goes up to a size 40, which is 63 inches. That is great. That is really good. The waist goes up to 54 1/4 inches, and the hip goes up to 62 inches. And then of course you have all of the wearing ease. Once you get into the finished garment measurement, you have a lot of ease in there. And so, for example, for the size 40, the double D bust goes up to 63, but the finished garment measurement with ease is 69 7/8. The waist for size 40 goes up to 54 1/4, and the waist for finished garment is 63 5/8. Then you have the hip goes up to 62 size 40, and the hip final is 68 1/4 inch. So again, that's sharing with you the variety of the size range that this pattern offers. There are 10 pattern pieces for what I cut. Again, I did not use any of the pocket pieces. If I used the pocket pieces, it would have been 13. And so let's go ahead. I'm going to share with you the fabric, and then I will go ahead and we're going to get into the fit, the changes, and adjustments I had to make. So let's start with the fabric. This is all that I have left that's usable. Everything else are strips. Now this is a wider cord, as you can tell. See that cord, the wideness of that. It's not a thick cord, but it is wide. I have had this fabric in my stash probably 3 years. I purchased this from Melanated Fabrics. Melanated Fabrics was owned by Mimi G and Brittany J Jones, and I had purchased, I purchased this probably 3 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago. And so this is all that I have left, and I'll share with you here. There's enough of this. It wasn't enough to do the actual welt pocket, but this needs pockets for me. I personally wanted pockets, and I couldn't get pockets out of this, but what I can do are patch pockets. And so what I will be doing, and I'm waiting to after the release, obviously at the time that I'm recording this, I wanted to wait until after I have recorded the video, because obviously the release of the pattern doesn't include patch pockets. But I do want to, I will be using this. I will be measuring about how wide I want them and how deep I want them, and I'll mark it on, I'll kind of stand, I'll show you, I'll stand and just kind of measure where I want it and mark it, and then I'll make the pockets to fit that sizing. So I have enough fabric for that, but that will be later on. Now what I am going to do is put on my muslin. I do have pictures and video that I want you to see, but let's start here first. When I was going through the instructions for the pattern, one of the things, there was a few things that I noted, but it was for tester clarification and different things like that. And there weren't a ton of changes or anything needed for the written portion of this pattern. Just some clarifications I needed as a tester. One of the things though I did suggest, I'm not sure if it'll come out in the final, but you can actually, it says to finish the hem at the end when you do the finish off the hood, but you will notice once you put the sides and everything together, because you have, the thing is, this also has bottom facing, the back facing and front facing at the bottom of the jacket, which gives it nice body. I actually really do like that. And I was thinking, oh, that's something to consider. Although again, I don't make a ton of jackets and things of that nature, but I was thinking maybe, you know how for shirt dresses and stuff like that, drafting a front facing and back facing piece, I thought that might be a good idea for shirt dresses, just to give it a little bit more body at the bottom. So this definitely, that gave it definitely some more body at the bottom, and I will be bringing this closer to you. So though that was the only thing, I didn't have put it on the cuff and the placket that Kenneth talks about in the pattern. Super duper easy. I do have to fix. It was fine when I was wearing it, but I thought there might have been an issue when I was when after I took pictures, but anyway, we'll talk about that. So what I have on is my muslin, and I'm going to pop up pictures. I'm going to zip it up. When I first did it, you see the zipper that's in here is exposed. It's not meant to be exposed, and you will see on the final it's not exposed on here at all. This was just for me to get just a fit. I wanted to see what was going on up around the bust area, different things of that nature, the length for the sleeves, different things of that nature is what I wanted. So let's get into the adjustments. It does call for a 27-inch zipper. I will tell you, for my final, it's a 25-inch zipper, which was fine. That also worked with the pattern. So one of the things that, based off of I'll show you, I first did a sleeveless fit, where you can see the fit on me, and it was with the sizing 20, 24, 30. And the only thing that I noticed was the front, the back, everything fit really fine. But then I noticed the front here had a lot of fullness. So let me come up closer. So remember, I did a 20 up here, and then I would have graded out to a 24 here. So I knew I didn't need, you see all of this? I didn't need, and I think, yeah, this is this, you probably can't tell my markings on here, but I knew I pinned and pinched out here the excess. And so I shared those tester photos, and then went back upon Kenneth's suggestion, was add the sleeves. I'm glad I did that, because once I added the sleeves, obviously went with no sleeves on, you don't know how much of this was needed to be pulled in from the stitching and whatnot. But what I did notice, once the sleeves were on, I had already pre-measured the sleeves and knew I needed to shorten the sleeves. The sleeves were too long for me. But the thing that I did notice that I did not catch in the sleeveless muslin, and I know I'm a little blurry here, but the shoulder, it was off my shoulder. The seam is way down here. It's down here. My shoulder ends here. Let me stand up straight. So I had about 3/4 inches is what it measured. And so I will pop up a video here. I'll show you on the pattern where I made the adjustment. What I did, I pinched this out, then I measured it. And it was, what was it, 5/8? It was 5/8 here, but then it tapered out to nothing, like right above the apex in here. And so I took that out of the pattern. And then for the shoulder, for front and back, now I only had to do, because for the shoulder there, this is princess seam, so it was the side front where I made the adjustment, not the front, the center front, but the side front, and then the back. Remember, if you make an adjustment on the front, make it on the back. And so I made sure, especially if you're doing the shoulder adjustment, so that the shoulders, that the sleeves will come up and sit where they naturally need to sit. And again, you'll see that in the video for the final. However, when I shortened the sleeve, I didn't take in consideration, because I would be removing some of the fabric here. That meant the sleeves will go up higher on me, which meant the sleeves would end up shortening. So I have down to shorten 1.5 inches of the sleeve, which I did, and everything you'll see in the final, but they're about 1/2 inch too short. And it's because once I took out this excess, and then this came, you know, the sleeve came up higher, that made the sleeves come up shorter. I mean, it's not very noticeable, and it's not anything that's dire or, you know, messed up the look at all. It did not. But yeah, those were the adjustments that I made. And so again, you'll see, I think I did a video and popped up the video of how the muslin and everything looked on me, and then how I made those couple of adjustments. And so if you all know, I'm in my fit bag right now. I guess as the young people say it, I don't know, but I'm in my fit era where I am deliberately now going to measure every time, measure my body every time I make something, just to see, you know, adjustments I need to make. I don't do this as much for knit. The thing for knit, for the most part, I have to remember are the shoulders, measuring the shoulder area, because I am more narrow at the shoulder, which is why I would need to take some off. I just did that arm side adjustment and the sway back adjustment. Go watch that video if you're looking for tips on how to do that. So those were the adjustments that I made. The final, here's the final jacket, and you'll see how it looks on me in the video and picture, but let me show you the insides of it. Absolutely love it. You do have, you can tell I put I don't sell labels anymore, but the labels I had left over that I kept for myself, I put one in the back. This here is stay tape. I end up using bias binding because the way it was something that I didn't quite do right, that the ends were supposed to fold over, and I didn't have excess, but I mean it still ended up turning out looking exactly how it was supposed to. So I don't know how I pulled that off, but at any rate, so I use my purple variegated thread for the serge on the inside. You will see at the bottom here is the front facing. I did not have, remember I mentioned I didn't have enough of this fabric left, so I had to use some other purple woven fabric that I had for the facing, which worked out beautifully. I do like that contrast that you see at the bottom. Absolutely love how that looks. And I'm gonna put this on so you can see what else did I want. Oh, here's where I will have to fix this, and I can use what is it called? Fabric tack. Is it fabric tack? I think that's what it's called. But can you see how my little okay, I had to get closer so you can see. You see how my little grommet came out? And so I was wondering about when I didn't feel like that secured like it was supposed to when I was hammering it in. But anyway, so I am going to have to use some fabric tack to put that in place, because I'm not going to unpick all of this to get back up in there. So yeah, but fabric tack, that'll hold that in place. Or yeah, fabric tack, that should do it. And if it doesn't, I will go back in with E6000 and use it. Now for my drawstring, I end up having to use this here is bias binding that I just knotted at the end, and I'm ordering some drawstring. I have rolls of drawstring that I cannot find, and I think I mentioned this several times before. So when I was doing the test, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy a bunch and use it for the future. Just have it laying around, because I make shorts, drawstring shorts for my husband, so I need it anyway. But yeah, and then you have the hood, so everything is good. So let me put this on for you and show you, and then I'll pop up pictures. So you cannot see my two-piece sleeve because of my, well, you kind of can you? Yeah, you can. You see the seam right there. For the two-piece sleeve, I do like that. That makes great fitting as well. There is also a I use snaps instead of buttons, which is fine. So I put utility snaps on mine. Absolutely love how that look. Now let me get up closer so you can see. Let me zip her up. Okay, she is all zipped up. So as you can tell, you cannot see my zipper. My zipper is totally not the right color, but it was the only zipper that I had, which I'm fine with it. You can't see it anyway, but it was the only long enough zipper that I had in my stash. The one that was in my muslin, that was a good length, and actually the color is better, but the teeth on that is made for a heavier coat, so they're much thicker and wider. So I don't think it would have hidden. It wouldn't have hidden well at all. But anyway, so see, now here's the stop of my shoulder, and there is where the sleeve stops. So that was absolutely perfect. I absolutely love. And then look at this, you guys. See how that just goes smooth over, no excess or anything. Now I admit, One of the other testers in Kenneth recommended that I lower the apex because that fullness was up here. Remember, if I lowered the apex, that would have pulled that fullness out. That is definitely a way to do it, but because of the timing and then me watching a video or reading a blog to try to figure out how to properly do that and then sew up another muslin to make sure that change that I made was right, doing the whole lower the apex option, I didn't have time for all of that, so I decided just to pinch out, and I think I showed that in the clip, pinched out up here what was needed, and then yeah, so that worked. So yeah, there's more than one option for your adjustments, but as you can tell, totally hidden zipper. So that is it, everybody. I will pop up pictures and video here so you can see how she turned out. I am so happy that I have this. I am so happy that I have this. I do want to actually make another one that's a little bit lighter. I wouldn't mind it being just a little bit lighter. Like I said, this fabric is not thick. It is heavier, but it's not thick. And there was actually a flannel, a beautiful flannel that I saw in Hobby Lobby that I was thinking, oh, that would be nice in that, just to have another color variation. And then I can do the pockets, because I really do want the pockets, you know, the welt pockets, because I like that look. But here I'll do the patch pockets and add those on the jacket. So that is it. I hope I answered all your questions. It took me, I would say, well, I was testing, so we were testing for a little bit. But I would say when I got to my final, it took about 6 hours to do. I took my time. You have on the inside, I don't even think I remember to share this, but on the inside you do the zipper, the facing helps hide that zipper on the inside, and it's a nice clean finish. So you do have that finish, and when you finish off the bottom, you hide the bottom of the facing, and that goes up into the shoulder, the top of the facing. So I absolutely love it, and I do want to make the one out of the flannel that I saw in Hobby Lobby. I hope they still have it, because I thought it was a really nice fabric. Or actually, I might look online for a couple other colors that I'm thinking that I might like. So either I'll do that, or but it is a 6-hour make. I thought it was fine, but like I say, if I was first time sewing it up, it might take 8 hours if you don't do. I think it went a little faster for me once I did the muslin. I made the adjustments to the pattern. I knew exactly what I was doing, and then I was just able to go through, and I just took my time. That's all. I just took my time. So I would say six, maybe 8 hours to complete this. So you all have to let me know what you think. Again, the pattern is on sale right now. I'll put on the screen when the sale ends, but I'll leave a link down in the description box where you can pick up this pattern. You have to let me know if you get it, or if you made it or plan to make it. And I think that is it. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Again, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to thumbs up this video. I upload every Sunday and Wednesday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So we will see you on Sunday. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in today. I greatly appreciate it. Have a blessed one. Bye.